without shedding a single drop of blood, a person born without limbs, a person with extra limbs. These individuals are often found in circuses. Today, we'll explore their fascinating stories. Join us as we uncover the sad past behind their fame. Let's discover who's the most extraordinary circus performer. Number 10. The Brick-Eating Man. In India, a man named Rambason developed a highly unusual eating habit. He enjoys eating bricks. Reports say he's had this habit since he was 10 years old and has continued for over 20 years. Rambason's behavior has drawn local and international attention. It's said that he consumes around 3 kilograms of bricks daily. He claims to feel no discomfort from this practice. Experts suggest his habit might be linked to a psychological condition called pica. This disorder involves eating non-food items. While his body can digest bricks to some extent, it's clear this is not a healthy dietary choice. Over time, this habit may cause physical harm. Rambason's story has sparked media coverage, with some fascinated by his peculiar eating habit. Others, however, express concern about his long-term health. The most recent report on Rambason was published on January 19, 2024. At that time, he was in his 30s and still maintained his unusual habit. Due to a lack of follow-up reports, there's no information about his current condition. What happened to him? Number 9. The Hairy Woman. An American woman with hypertrichosis had a face entirely covered in thick hair, so much so that only her eyes were visible. At first glance, she seemed unrecognizable. What's fascinating is that below her neck, she appeared completely normal. She had a slim figure and delicate, white fingers. Her name was Alice Doherty. This condition appeared during her childhood. However, her family embraced her uniqueness. Instead of hiding away, Alice used her condition to her advantage, performing under the stage name Will Girl. Alice was born on March 14, 1887. Alice was born on March 14, 1887. She was born in Minnesota, in an ordinary family in Paws. Her parents were normal. Her 2 siblings were also normal, but only Alice was born with thick hair. When Alice was 5 years old, the hair on her face grew longer than 10 centimeters. By the age of 10, the length of her facial hair reached nearly 20 centimeters. Her family believed they could make money from her unique appearance. Thus, Alice took the stage name Minnesota's Young Man Girl and started performing in exhibitions. She brought great wealth to her family. After earning enough money, Alice chose to retire in 1915. She passed away on June 13, 1933, at the age of 46. The 8th person had an insect-like appearance. It is not uncommon for people to lose their legs, but losing both legs and arms, while resembling for large winter melons, is rare. Prince Lantian was born in British Guiana on October 12, 1871. He was also known as the Pillow Person, Snake-like Torso, or Human Caterpillar. He grew up speaking Indian, English, and German. With a strong sense of humor, he found his beloved wife and had 5 children. In 1889, he was discovered by an American businessman and circus owner, Barnard. He began touring the United States as a performer. From then on, he became the main attraction of the circus. For his performances, Lantian wore woolen garments. Lantian is wearing a woolen garment. The tight clothes make him look like a caterpillar, snake, or potato. By swinging his hips and shoulders, he creates an exciting stage presence. His most famous skill is rolling and lighting a cigarette, using only his lips. But he is also capable of holding a brush or stylus with his lips to draw or write. He can even fix a razor in a wooden block and shave his beard. His performances also gained recognition in Hollywood. Movie enthusiasts admired his unique ability to light cigarettes. Lantian passed away on the afternoon of December 19, 1934, at the age of 63. This occurred at the 14th Street Museum in New York, shortly after his last performance. The Woman with 4 Legs. Josephine Corbin was born in the United States in 1868. She was born with 4 legs, due to an abnormal body structure, with 2 separate pelvises and reproductive systems. Her rare physiological characteristics attracted widespread attention at the time. Corbin's father initially planned to abandon her, but her mother strongly opposed it, saving her life. Due to her family's poor economic situation, Corbin grew up in poverty, lacking friends, and often facing discrimination and ridicule. Later, her father saw a business opportunity. He allowed neighbors to pay to see his daughter. Corbin joined a vaudeville troupe at 13. Her job is to show off her abilities. His role was to showcase his 4 legs and perform various movements by controlling them. Although he didn't enjoy such performances, his popularity grew rapidly. Many vaudeville troupes tried to imitate him, but all attempts failed. Calvin's unique situation. could not be replicated. At the age of 18, Kelvin met Dr. Bicknell. They eventually fell in love and got married the following year. After marriage, Kelvin stopped performing and lived a peaceful life. In 1887, Kelvin gave birth to a healthy daughter. Kelvin passed away in 1928. To prevent anyone from disturbing his grave later on, the local government covered the cemetery with a thick layer of concrete, ensuring the safety of the tomb. Asterisk asterisk the 6th, Lobster Boy asterisk asterisk. Grady Stiles, also known as Lobster Boy, was born on July 26, 1937. He was a man with severe deformities and a renowned circus performer. His family suffered from a rare genetic condition, causing his fingers and toes to fuse together, forming claw-like shapes. Grady's deformities confined him to a wheelchair for most of his life. However, through determination, he learned to use his upper body to walk on the ground. Grady's family formed their own circus act, known as the Lobster Family. They toured across the country, attracting large audiences. Grady's personal life was filled with tragedy. He married a fellow circus performer and had 4 children. One of his daughters inherited his condition. Grady's temper became increasingly violent, especially when he was drunk. He often acted violently toward his wife and children. In one severe domestic violence incident, Grady even used his deformed arm to hurt his wife. The most infamous incident occurred in 1992. Grady was with his daughter, Donna, at the time. She was about to get married. Due to extreme anger and resentment, her fiancé shot and killed her with a live gun. Grady's second wife could no longer endure his violence. She chose to divorce him. Later, his first wife, Maria, was still subjected to his abuse. Finally, she decided to hire a 19-year-old neighbor to kill Grady. After Grady was shot, the shooter was sentenced to 27 years in prison. Maria was also convicted for her role in the murder. The man from the 5th Delian Company, Robert Owen, was born in Missouri on May 9, 1920. He had a nickname, Bob. He was one of 6 children in his family. Doctors examined him, but couldn't determine the cause of the tumor on his face. After multiple tests, they discovered he had a rare condition called neurofibromatosis. Due to his illness, he dropped out of school and stayed home. In 1949, he joined the entertainment industry with the help of a circus. In 1952, he married his girlfriend, Virginia. They later had a daughter. He was a very responsible father. The family lived in a small town in Missouri. Bob had a successful career, starring in several films and becoming a household name as a sideshow performer. On November 19, 1995, he passed away in his hometown. The 4th Monkey Girl, Schlitzie, was born on September 10, 1901, in the Bronx, New York, USA. At birth, he exhibited severe symptoms of congenital microcephaly, along with neurodevelopmental disorders that resulted in an unusual head structure. This also affected his height. As an adult, he was only 122 centimeters tall. He suffered from severe myopia and intellectual disabilities. His intelligence was comparable to that of a 4-year-old child. He couldn't care for himself until he was 13 years old. He could only speak very simple words. However, he had excellent imitation skills. He loved to sing and dance, and was friendly with others. Despite being incontinent, he always wore women's dresses. Schlitzie began performing as a clown in the circus and achieved great success. He participated in nearly all the famous circus performances across the USA. All the famous circus performances in the country were overshadowed by the 1932 film Freaks. This film ditched makeup and special effects, featuring real performers like conjoined twins and others with unique physical conditions. It frightened many viewers at the time and attracted significant media criticism. The runtime was even cut from 90 minutes to 60 minutes, and the film was banned in the UK for 30 years. Since then, Schlitzie began appearing in supporting roles in other films. In 1935, Schlitzie's manager, George Surtees cared for him until his death in 1960, became his legal guardian. Schlitzie passed away on September 24, 1971, due to bronchopneumonia. He was later buried in a cemetery, but no tombstone was left to mark his grave. Next, we explore another extraordinary figure. Joseph Merrick, known as the Elephant Man, was born on August 5, 1862, in Leicester, UK, to an ordinary working-class family. Merrick became famous for his severe deformities. His symptoms began appearing around age 5, manifesting as hardened skin and abnormal enlargement of his head and limbs. These features drew great curiosity and public attention. Merrick's family had other members with similar conditions, but the exact cause was unknown at the time. Merrick was first exhibited in a circus. Later, he was discovered by Dr. Frederick Treves, who brought him to a hospital for examination. Dr. Treves conducted detailed studies on Merrick and took photographs, which were later used in medical research. Merrick spent his final years in the hospital, where he was treated with humanity and respect. However, he died in 1890 due to a neck injury. Merrick's story gained widespread attention in the 20th century and inspired numerous literary and film adaptations, the most notable being the 1980 film The Elephant Man, directed by David Lynch. The film narrates Merrick's life and his enduring friendship with Dr. Treves. The film highlights Merrick's purity and humanity. It shows his inner strength when faced with adversity. He maintains his dignity despite unfair treatment. He stands firm in the face of extreme challenges. The second person, without legs, was Minnow John Eckhart, also known as Ruined Johnny Eck. He passed away on August 27, 1911, born in Baltimore, Maryland. His brother, Robert Eckhart, was also a performer. He was born with congenital hypoplasia. His legs were undeveloped at birth. He had no use of his legs or feet. Johnny Eck sometimes described himself as having a narrow waist. However, he had no functional legs or feet due to hypoplasia. He kept his legs hidden under custom clothing. At birth, he weighed only 0.9 kilograms. He was less than 20 centimeters long. Although Eck was born with these challenges, he made the best of his situation. Although he had physical limitations, Eck was healthy otherwise. In late 1923, Eck and his brother watched a magic show by John McCaslund. The magician asked for volunteers, and 12-year-old Eck jumped on stage. This surprised the magician, McCaslund. McCaslund convinced Eck to join his show. Eck agreed and invited his brother to join him as well. Shortly after, their parents signed a 1-year contract. Eck claims that McCaslund later changed the contract to 10 years. On January 5, 1991, Eck suffered a heart attack in his sleep. He passed away in his birthplace. He was 79 years old. His brother Robert died on February 25, 1995. He was 83 years old. Both are buried in Baltimore's Green Mountain Cemetery. Their graves are marked with a shared tombstone. The first person stabbed to death was in the American science fiction movie X-Men *. For those who enjoy stories about superpowers, Eck claims magic later added a 0 to his contract. Changed the contract to 10 years. January 5, 1991. Eck suffered a heart attack in his sleep. Like nieces and aunts. When he was 33 years old, he was accidentally injured at work, but the wound healed almost instantly. He was curious about the healing process. He then cut his arm several more times. The wound healed instantly each time. Doctors confirmed it with X-rays. The wound did pierce Millen's body. He wasn't lying. The doctors were both surprised and very confused. In an attempt to prove his ability, he went to the bar every night, performing as a sideshow artist. In this way, he started a new life. May 11, 1948. Millen performed the Iron Nail, but Millen died soon after. That day was May 26, 1948. Afterwards, people gradually forgot about Millen. Then, by chance, after a video of his performance was released online, it became a hot topic. The British Broadcasting Corporation and other major media, along with many doctors and magicians, carefully studied the images of him, but they still haven't solved the mystery of this strange man's body. Do these freak show performers scare you? Which one do you think is the scariest and most pitiful? Feel free to discuss in the comments. This is Senior Trace. Thanks for watching. See you next time.